You know it's getting hot when the sheepies are hiding. I spy a hiding little sheepie. Today we're talking about 5-year plans. The next 5 years and the last 5 years. I'm very keen to know, first and foremost, what is your 5-year plan? And then maybe at the end of the video, if you've had other thoughts about it, I would like to hear how that's changed and what's changed, why it's changed, etc. But it is a glorious day in Scotland, so it is. It's nice, it's hot, it's fucking it's too hot, but it's a high elevation day today for me. Really getting back into the swing of things now. Was supposed to be 30k and over 1,000 metres, but switched it to 25k 1,000 metres. I just want to focus on the elevation more than the distance. Get my legs used to going up steep gradients for prolonged periods of time again. So cycled here to the Pentlands, do my route, and then I'll just cruise back on the bike. That'll save me about like 10k. So happy wee chappy today. So 5-year plans. Right now, if you think about a 5-year plan, you probably think about the next 5 years. It's not very often people end up thinking about the last 5 years. Now, firstly, the next 5 years. What are your intentions for the next 5 years? And then how can you go about accomplishing that 5-year goal? Now, if you're like me, it's so easy to procrastinate and put it off. So let's just say you do that. You make a 5-year plan. The reality is you just think, I've got 5 years, it's fine, I'll get to it. And then all of a sudden you're 4 years in thinking, shit, I've not done it. And that can very quickly snowball into another 5 years, and before you know it, you've just never achieved your 5-year goal. But if it comes back again, if you're like me, I like to procrastinate, and in the last second, it's like I need that time crunch, that pressure to really put a rocket under my arse. So if I procrastinate for the first 4 years, and then in the last year I accomplish what I set out to, then imagine what I could have done if I started years before that. It is unbelievable. So that is a trajectory that I feel like I am on now, where the ultra marathon that I ran, that was my first ever marathon, first ever ultra, ended up, granted, I have been training physically for a while, but specific to running, I've not been training. That was like within the space of a year where I ended up achieving that. But now I'm just slow and steady, consistent, build my way back up, see where it takes me. And I now can't imagine where I will be in 5 years. So I've passed the procrastinating for 4 years stage, and now it's, well, I've achieved that. This little switch has clicked, being like, what else can I do? So yeah, if you could apply that to yourself, let me know how it applies to you, what your goals are, what your, just anything really. Like, I'm keen to hear other people's thoughts on it. But yeah, we'll get to the last 5 years in a bit. Speak soon, my mans. Don't know why I said that. Alright, so last 5 years. I am going to make the assumption that most people have the same last 5-year goals, where you'd like to have your faculties, you'd like to be able to go to the toilet by yourself. That's all you can really ask for. So maybe it's different, but regardless, let's just say that your last 5-year plan is just to be fit enough and mentally healthy enough to just look after yourself, really. So how do you achieve that, and how can you work towards that? Yes, it's a 5-year plan, but why do you have to wait? Why do you have to procrastinate to get to that last 5 years. And the sad reality is, most of us don't know when our last 5 years are. So those last 5 years, you want to be mentally and physically healthy. What can you do? Lift weights, do a bit of cardio, maybe learn a new language, just keep your brain ticking over. As simple as that. So that's all you really want out of life. Just lift some weights, do some fast walking, do Sudoku. I was going to start going through different pronunciations of Sudoku. Sudoku. Yeah, but I was just getting distracted from my point. Point proven, just being distracted. So, yeah, life's simple, really. That's nice. Alright, so what is my 5-year plan? I hear you ask, what's your 5-year plan? Well, my 5-year plan, since you're asking, is, I don't know. I have one thing in mind that I would love, because I love the product, but I would love to be sponsored by Acclima. I like to say Acclima. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Acclima, but I like to say Acclima. Probably not a good start between me and the company not being able to say their name properly, but here I am enjoying their products constantly. So a 5-year plan would be, I can get water from there. I'll come back to this. Alright, I got sidetracked. Managed to get more water. There was a leaking pipe here at the Pentlands going across, I don't know what to call it, where the water runs through, because water's there, I don't know. The trench, I don't know. Fucking, there's a pipe going through it regardless. There was a pipe, I had wet coming out of it, so I've captured the wet. Might be thinking, oh, that might not be safe. Well, luckily, I have an Hydra Pack Life Straw. Wow! In all seriousness, so love this thing. Rather than taking a big water pack, a big bladder, just use this Hydra Pack Life Straw. It was like £32 or something like that, and it just filters out all the badness. So, aye. Anyways, 5-year plan. Acclima. I'd like to be sponsored by them because I love their products. I've been buying them for years. Swear by them all the time. Merino wool, just unbelievable. Really like it. Wear it in the middle of winter. Wearing it now. Got their leggings, joggers, long sleeves, short sleeve. I would love the hoodie, but it's just money. Anyways, love their stuff. So I'd like to be sponsored by them. Not even like, it's not as if there's a plan to earn money. I just like the thought of, I've been doing something that's cool and interesting, and it's interesting enough that a brand could stand by that and be like, you're doing something quite cool, we like that. So yeah, I just like the idea with all the running that I'm doing is going on adventures, and if I could then be sponsored by a company like that, that to me just shows I'm doing exactly what I set out to do. Not that I need that as like a, I don't know the words for this, my mind's going blank with the heat, but you know what I'm getting at. I don't need it for validation, but it sure would be cool. But other than that, for 5-year plans, I really just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Just be consistent and see where I end up, because I never imagined I would have done the ultra. So yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing, make sure that I'm taking the time out of my life to go places and see places, really put my navigation skills to the test, albeit they're very minimal, but getting there. Been enjoying using the map in the Pentlands and stuff. There's a few runs that I've got lined up, but I'll save that for another time. I just want to enjoy the rest of the day. What a day. Just anyways, I'm just going to end this here. I want to just, I've just said what I wanted to say. Have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.